Welcome to the Napoleon Total War 2v2 OBG Discord tournament, and we are finally here at the finals. The big finale. A best of 3. The winner, what is the prize pool? I think it's $160 for first place and $80 for second, yeah. $300 prize pool in total. Check out the OBG Discord, linked down below if you're interested in taking part in future events. But we are now here in the final. Both of these teams guaranteed money at this point. But who can take home that first place, that little bit extra? Let's find out. So, Ichi Nuisance is the Ottomans, who we're spectating as. His teammate is Flavius, playing as the British. So they are red on the minimap, but they're gonna be blue on the balance of power. Red on the minimap, blue on the balance of power. Ottomans and Britain. Their team name is Nameless. We've seen them on many matches before in this event. Their opponents, also in the final, with the double Ottoman push. I don't know why we're going double Ottomans on this map. Usually we see that on a desert map. Hopefully that means we don't get any of the desert maps, because they're a lot less fun to cast. Anyway. Yeah, double Ottomans, Crucible and Theodore. And their team name is Team Fate. Fate versus Nameless. Nameless is in red, and they're the ones with the British, if it helps later in the battle. They've gone up against each other before, these two. Oh, never noticed there's this random mound here, blocking off part of it. I do like these Napoleon maps. They do look fun. I wish we had more maps like this in Medieval 2, where, you know, they look a lot more balanced, you know, with interesting features to use. Or in Rome 1 would have been nice. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they've played each other before in a best of 3. I believe Fate won that one. Yes, that was in pool play. So they were in the same pool together. Fate won that one. Does it mean they'll win this one? Not necessarily. It's two very good teams here. And they're marching forwards now. Here we go. It's going to be a big one. Did the set battle time it? Yes, they did. Good. And they all charge forwards with the cavalry. As expected, so many Ottomans on this, it's gonna get confusing. But usually the only confusing ones are where it's all Ottomans, so fingers crossed this is the only one that's like that. After this, hopefully it's simple, like France versus Sweden, or Russia and Spain, two factions we never see, but you know what I mean. Like this, 3 different Ottoman players makes it confusing. We can sort of see the line now, but it does get difficult. These dragoons are taking some heavy hits, but they got some nice shots through onto the Ottoman infantry there. Meanwhile, Fate taking the high ground, doing a long flank on this side. Nameless here, they've realised, ooh, Fate's heavy on this side. Let's pull back a bit here, play a bit more defensive, and instead go more aggressive on this side. So you can see the map here. They're not going for a straight line, 2 sides meeting each other. They're starting to twist it a bit more vertically. Interesting. What's the victory zone on this? I think it's this hill. Is it? Ooh, I'll have to double check that. I don't think I recall. But yeah, it's difficult to see what's going on this side of the map because it's all in the stupid trees. You can barely see anything. And the smoke doesn't help either. If I do this again, I've got to get a mod of some kind that removes the smoke. Right, loading into the rules now. Okay, yeah, I see this. So it's... the victory zone is this hill and this hill. Okay, so they both hold half of it right now. Right, so it is fair. You don't need... so yeah, having the bit in the middle helps as well. So yeah, you need to have troops up here if the timer runs out, but anything beyond this line is pretty much useless in the victory zone. There we go. I thought... I don't know. There's another map that looks just like it. This is Italian grassland. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Homestead. Yeah, I'm thinking of Homestead. They looked very similar as maps. Okay, so yeah, they both hold like one of the victory hills here, and they're contesting the middle bit. Lots of gunfire going on. The Dragoons keep charging forwards, getting some shots in, but then have to pull back. We've not seen any cavalry charges, I don't think, yet. Someone's charging. Who was that? I can see there's a unit slightly further forwards here. Looks like they're pulling back now. Where are they? Was it these guys? I think, yeah, I think they're sent forwards for Janissaries to engage them in melee to stop the British from shooting, so then they can get some more firepower in. But they've pulled back now and they've lost a lot of men. I don't know if that was worth it for them. Yeah, we can see a lot of dead bodies there. I think this must have been where it was. They charged the British there. Meanwhile, for Nameless, the British are here, but they're being shot at from many different angles. Do these guys have actual range? Doesn't look like it here. Now, they might have to move a little further forwards. It's difficult to tell. Because I think sometimes you can sort of like twist and bend the bullets a little bit around corners and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's like he's got range, but do these have range? I don't think so. I don't know what they're shooting at there. Maybe they do. It would explain it. There's a lot of dead bodies on this side, so it would explain it if they do. But still, I'd feel I'll have to move them a little further forwards. Someone's charging forwards again. It's for Janissaries. But they've been countered by the cavalry as well. They'll have to pull them out eventually. But it buys these Ottomans time to just, you know, reform their position, reload, and get ready for the next round of bullets to come through. Loads of reserves there for both teams. It's probably going to be a long one, I think. Yeah, they must definitely be getting kills. Reinforcements coming in for the British. And they really need to take this, does Team Nameless. They can't allow this bit of high ground to be dominated like this by Team Fate, but, you know, how do you take it? You're going to lose a lot of men on the climb up here. You've got cavalry to deal with as well, so you'll lose a lot there. You've got like 4 or 5 infantry units that will instantly blast you and get first round. The British can't push it, so they just have to stand here and take all of these shots. Pulling back to a better angle, but yeah, they're going to lose so many men there, and they just have to accept it for now. Meanwhile though, they do have a similar scenario up here. They also have the high ground. I don't think it's working as well for Nameless, having this high ground, than Fate is with this one. Like, they're more, you can see where they're getting the kills. Whereas these guys, what are they shooting at? I mean, yeah, you can see the bodies, but it does look like less. Maybe not actually. There's a few more around there. But yeah, likewise Fate, they just don't have the manpower to push this right now. So they've all got to fight it out in the middle. Looks like we've got a bit more melee going on. Swordsman versus swordsman, as the Janissaries of both sides go at each other. Yeah, they're both holding each hill and they're fighting it in the middle for the trees. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a long one where both sides just camp the hill. What I should have done is I should have made the victory zone a bit smaller to force players more into, you know, a full-on charge for a very specific destination. I think this victory zone going from this line all the way to this line is a little bit much. It's too much of a battlefield. Probably should have made it just this hill only. I think that would have been better. A bit more reward then for actually getting up here first. Or maybe this hill, but this hill looks less cool. Like, yeah, I think it's because there's such a larger way into it. It looks less cool, whereas this has an actual choke point. Yeah, I do like that hill. That is a nice hill. The British still over here, still getting blasted from the high ground. I think they've moved a little further forwards for a better angle. Losing a lot of men. They're fighting the Ottoman lights as well. And here we go, they're charging some of their reserves forwards. What was all that about? Are they going to go in melee? I think they are. Let's just triple speed it. And yeah, here we go. So the Janissaries charge forwards. Again, Janissaries versus Janissaries fighting in slow motion for some reason. The moment they're in melee, then they fight somewhat normally. Well, apart from that guy. But yeah, when they run and charge, they're sort of like walk in slow motion for a short while. I'm assuming it's a balance thing. I've complained about it in many videos before. But yeah, it just makes the animation look weird. I think that's Nameless that sent in their cavalry there and pulled their own Janissaries out. But the cavalry got quite badly cut down, and now the Janissaries, you can see what I mean by the slow motion charge. Ooh, bayonet straight to the face, charging into the British here. There's really not much more going on, it is literally just all the fighting here. The lights are skirmishing there. They're no longer taking advantage of this bit of high ground. It's all literally here, right in the middle. Slowly edging forwards and then pulling back to them. Yeah, I think we're taking cover now. They did what they had to do, and these Janissaries here, they're pretty much dead. Final 14, 12, and they're pulling away. But they did their job. Are they completely shattered? Yeah. Meanwhile, they're double lining here for maximum firepower. They are running out of reserves on this side though. You know, maybe the British at some point could actually start thinking of making a push up here. It'll be risky, but they could probably do it. Then again, Fate, how close are they to actually considering this? Nah, I don't think they're close. They've got 2 cav units that could push up here, but the rest of their infantry I think is needed down here for the centre for now. So I think Nameless has a better hold. That being said, you have to factor in this, which I have only just noticed. Fate slowly edging round the hill with their infantry. They're starting to, yeah, curve round a bit. Who's retreating here? There are just some cavalry in the melee massacre. British reinforcements coming in. Oh, it's so difficult to see when everyone's Ottomans, makes it so confusing. Okay, so these are Nameless's Ottomans. They were charging in. They're pulling back a bit. Balance of power right now is favouring red. And this map is opposite. Yep. So it's actually favouring blue on the map, which is Team Fate. So balance of power favouring Team Fate right now. Doesn't really look like it looking at the map though. It looks like Team Nameless has the advantage in the centre. But then again, what do I really know? Not much. Oh, these guys getting caught in the back there by some bayonet hits, but they've managed to somewhat sort out their formation. And do I like these uniforms? No, British should be in red. I don't like it. They might look cool, but nah, British should be in red. Like these ones here. This is how they should look. Not this. This just gets confusing. But they do look cool. More British edging forwards, breaking out of formation to help their German brothers. Oh, the Germans have pulled back. It was the German Lightfoot, I think, that unit. And the Ottomans, where are they going to go now? Are they going to chase after them? Are they going to get absolutely overwhelmed here by Janissaries and British infantry? Yeah, shame it's all happening in the trees right now. There's really not much more to say. Ooh, one of Fate's units pushed through this way. Oh, they're broke now, but it seemed they were making some good progress. Cavalry charging through as well, trying to counter the other cavalry, hitting the infantry. Got a little square formation here as well to try and deal with the enemy's cav. Yeah, so they need to get that cav unit out of there, but instead they're charging into the square. That's not what you want to do. Right, now they're pulling out. Yeah, get them out of there. Get out of the square. Nameless formed a square here as well. But it seems Fate got their cavalry out. It's all just smoke, I can't see anything. Yeah, definitely getting a mod next time I try this. Got to remove that smoke. Or do I remove the smoke? I don't know. I guess it does add to the overall ambience of the battle, which is important. Yeah, and it's not, let's be honest, it's not like you're all here for my deep tactical insights. You're here for my good looks, obviously. So we don't really need the smoke removed. I'll just have to suffer through it, I think. I love their hats, by the way. Yeah, so they've got some good point-blank range right now. The British They weren't returning fire there, and now they're pulling back a bit. Remember, Fate in blue, Nameless in red, and it's opposite on the balance of power, which is now even again, so Nameless has pulled it back a bit. It's all chaos in the centre, cavalry coming through. They get a good charge in before the Ottomans can form square. They hit some of the British as well. The Ottomans have reserves there, who could form square at any minute, but they don't have to, they're just getting shots in from here, point blank, taking out loads of cavalry. But the cav unit holding out for now, and it could actually, it's broken 2 units there. That one cav unit broke 2 units with that charge. And then the charge onto this one, stopping them from firing. Oh, that was quite devastating, and you saw the balance of power dip by quite a big chunk. We've got more cavalry charging in. Fate has cavalry coming on the flank now to take this bit of high ground. And yeah, their cavalry are just charging through their rampaging behind the lines. They're having to pull the general out. It's all falling apart for Nameless. And then this cav unit breaks through as well, because they left themselves open on this hill. They did notice it just in time, and they form square, but then this cav unit, it goes straight for the generals. Can it cut down the Ottoman general there? It probably could. Then he charges onto the infantry, gets an excellent charge onto that. Probably gonna go and hit the British next. Or just fight back for now. Yep, there he goes. Goes onto the British, who are aiming at, I don't know, oh, they're aiming at the other cavalry unit. Oh no, Nameless, you've been completely overrun by cavalry. They're doing well on the infantry side of things in the trees, but now they've been overrun by the cav, it's really starting to fall apart for them. They lost a lot of units doing that, and I don't think the balance of power is going to recover anytime soon. They're outnumbered on this side, outnumbered here. That's another British unit that's broken. Then the cavalry comes in to take out the next one. Nameless is slowly getting completely surrounded. They're still trying though. They've got some infantry here that are facing the right way to deal with that flank for now. The British are pushing forwards, trying to take the forest area, and they need to do that quick to secure a good foothold, but the balance of power really not favouring them at this point. Meanwhile, this unit here, oh, Flavius lost his general. I think that's the British general gone, and they had units in square, but now they're getting completely annihilated by dragoon gunfire. They're gone. This British unit's about to break, especially without any general, and they're not even doing any counter firing. They're done a break any second now. Still trying to get into square formation. Come on. Right, there we go. They're finally in formation, and they break. Yep. We knew it was coming. Balance of power heavily in Fate's favour, and I think well done to them for going up 1-0 in this best of 3. But we've still got at least one other game to play, or spectate, and then a second, but I think it is over now for Nameless. The final British unit making its final stand in the forest, and then it's just a few Ottomans who are at this point being completely overrun. Let's see the final stand of the British here. What can they do? They might break this unit potentially. There's 40 of them versus 40. Surprised their morale is better than the Ottoman morale here. Fate has the high ground, Fate has the cavalry. Nameless's generals here down to the final 8 bodyguards. Gonna get cut down any second, I think. Cavalry charge comes through for Fate, neutralises that unit. Surprised the general's still alive for the Ottomans. He's been in the combat for quite a while. Nameless does have a lot of success in the trees though. It's like they do sort of have a way out on this side, but for balance of power, it's just too obvious. And there we go, another bodyguard died. We're about to lose the Ottoman general any minute now. Yeah, I think his unit's broken, completely shattered. And with that, that's the end of the battle. Well done, Team Fate, for going up 1-0. The kills were quite close though, it was a close battle. But I think what really won it for them is those cavalry charges. We saw the moment when suddenly the balance of power just ticked into their favour, and it never went back. And it was with that cav charge that broke those 2 infantry, with other cav charges coming round from all different sides. A beautiful moment, I liked that one. But now, on to game 2. And there's the stats. Battle 2, on Siberian Plateau. We have Britain and... is it Portugal? Yeah, Portugal. Britain and Portugal under Team Nameless versus Team Fate, who is Britain and Britain. Alright, so we got 3 British players in this one. It's gonna be just like the last one, isn't it? It's so confusing. I need to ban it in all future events. Okay, but at least I think the colours are right. Yes, so the map blue is the same as Balance of Power blue. So Nameless is blue, Fate is red. Fate is 1-0 up. Can Nameless bring this to a 1-1 and we get to see our best of 3 in the finals? Or will Fate get the win and get first place? And away they go. Both charge up to the high ground here. A lot easier to secure the high ground on this one because you literally start right on the bottom of it. Yeah, as you can see, so many British here with a few Portuguese. Reminds me of my trip to Portugal. A few Portuguese, but mostly British people. At least from my experience. And there we go. So they all start shooting at each other in the middle. I get a feeling this is going to be a bit vanilla, this battle. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, they've formed perfect lines right now, and they're just blasting each other, moving a little further forwards as well to get all the better angles. But we're not seeing any fancy cavalry pushes yet, or anyone leaning too far to one side. Ooh, why do I need to see this? No reason at all. Ooh, maybe the general. Yeah, the general caught a stray bullet. Or at least his bodyguard did. Imagine that we just took out the general this early on with a random stray bullet. Oh, I'd love that. That would be hilarious. Yeah, but Nameless, gotta be careful with your general. Even though the enemy's here, like, if a bodyguard can still get hit, you gotta be careful of that. But yeah, it's like, I know it's early in the battle, but usually at this point we'll see some cavalry, some lights giving some hint about where they're going to go. But no, it's all just fighting in the centre. Makes my job easier though. Oh, cavalry charging through for Team Fate there. Just charging in front of all the squares there. Took a lot of bullets. Oh yeah, these guys are getting massacred. I guess they messed up their opponent's formation a little bit, but for the most part they just got absolutely blasted. I don't know if that was worth it at all for Team Fate. And remember, Fate is red in this one, they've swapped. And then they're back to just shooting in their lines. Yeah, it is a perfect line. Because usually when we see this, we'll see one team hit heavier on one side and another team hit heavier on another side. And they sort of like rotate round. And eventually you'll have one team lined up here, facing this way, and another team lined up here. And their lines go from like diagonal to vertical. But we're not getting anything close to that in this one. It's all just a straight line. I love how these guys have cover. I wish there was a way to actually like get better cover, as in you click on the logs and more units stand behind the logs specifically. With that goal in mind. And one of the only guys that died was the one who took cover. Oh, how unlucky. But yeah, that would be nice if you could just click it so all the units are like this guy here. I think you can do that with like the trenches. The trench deployable. I don't know. It's been a while since I played. Oh no, it's the walls that I'm thinking of. I might be thinking of both. But yeah, you can definitely do that with walls. Where you could hover over it and then they all take cover behind that wall. That might be Empire though, come to think of it. It's the same game, really. Fate has their cavalry pushing forwards, their light dragoons, charging this in melee before they can get into square. Ooh, took some nasty shots there. Lost a lot of men doing that. Point blank bullets to the heads of the horses. Yeah, they're gonna get butchered there, that cav unit. And sadly they're all gone. I don't know if they got any value out of that as well. Not that good. It is again just 2 lines though, there's not much I can cast there. The cav unit tries to keep fighting, but no, its final one's dead. There we go. All got cut down in the end. Rest in peace to the cavalry. Fate trying again with another cav charge, hitting the lights this time. Does Nameless have cavalry? No, we've seen this before, where Nameless just does not bother going cavalry. Fate has, but it's not been that valuable for them. For the most part, they've just been throwing them away. And yeah, it's like that entire cav unit completely wiped out. That's incredible how fast that one died. Over infantry investment, I think it's going to be really worthwhile for Nameless here, given that they've taken out most of their enemy's cavalry, and now I think they're even in cavalry, and the balance of power represents it as well. You can see it's slightly in favour of Nameless here. So many bodies just piling up in a line. That's what I like about the line combat though, you get to see a lot more bodies. Oh wow, Nameless pushing up really far. Oh yeah, getting the real point blank range in here. They're just obliterating Fate with the infantry. Well, they went for more infantry instead of cavalry. So that's what happens, that's what you get. And if Fate can't do anything special with their cavalry, any super flanks like what we saw last time, and this is just what happens. Sending more infantry around here. Yeah, the Portuguese need to pull back from that. British charging forwards with their foot guards. They've got their cavalry charging in as well, the Portuguese cav. The infantry charges in, it stops these two units from firing. And allows the other guys time to just reload, reset, get back in formation, ready to charge again. I think these cav units are meant to be pushing forwards, but they're a little stuck on the infantry. You know, I get that when you're on the train or the bus and the person in front of you is blocking your way, but you need to get off, and you tap them on the shoulder and you're like, hey, excuse me, can I move along? And they just don't hear you, and it just gets really awkward. That's what's happening here. They're just a bit socially awkward. But there we go, they finally let the cavalry through. Oh, I hate that. That's always awful when you ask someone to get out of the way and they don't hear. They're trying to get inside the barn. They haven't figured out doors, but they know how to sidestep. They learnt that in their training. And there he goes. You're free! Who's that? I think that's Fate's team there pulling back in red. And you can see on the map, Fate is not looking good. I think Nameless is going to win this. I think they're going to make it a 1-1 and take us to a game 3 in the finals. On this side, yeah, Blue has more troops, so I've got 3 units versus 2. On this side, I've got a bit more of the flanking, and on this side, they're just absolutely storming their way through. Yeah, this is the final 2 units of Fate here. Once these break, they're going to be completely open. On this side here as well, they've really had to pull back. They started standing, I think, around here. Yeah, this was their line before. They've pulled all the way back to here, having to use the building for cover. And look at these guys here hiding. Oh, for shame. I've got some reinforcements coming in. I bet these do a lot of damage. Yeah, point blank range, they're going to get a lot of kills. But they need to get a lot of kills. And they're not even firing. They're so delayed. Balance of power so heavily in favour now of Team Nameless, sorry. Right, there we go. They finally got their shots in a little too late though. Ooh, they're absolutely annihilating this unit, and there we go, that unit's broken. That's going to cause a big rout. Another unit's broken, they're completely open. It's just the general holding down this entire section now in the middle. The scent has completely fallen apart for Team Fate. Nameless can push through at any minute. Balance of power favours them, the map favours them. They're still pushing, getting loads of kills. Fate having to come in and try to charge this in melee, but the Portuguese reloaded in time and got a few good shots off. And they've got more troops as well, so they're going to cut down the British here. At what point do they send in the generals? They're sending in their final cav unit, somewhere around here. There we are, Fate's final cav unit. The final 25 cavalry charging in. They do get a charge, but then they get some good kills. But after that, that's it. That's the last of their special units that can probably turn this around. They're about to break, and they all get completely butchered. And with that, the balance of power, about 75% in favour of Nameless now. Yeah, they've completely collapsed in the centre. That's one of the main issues here, as Fate. So Nameless can now just push through, take advantage of that, push away the generals, which is going to hurt the morale of the British even further, who are already probably pretty miserable, all things considered. Ooh, the Portuguese charging in, and yeah, they're going to end it here with a final charge. Boom. Actually, no, never mind, the Portuguese broke. Got a little too eager there, it seems. But it's still definitely over at this point. This British unit's not going to pull it back. It's basically all Fate has left, plus a couple of generals. And with that, it's over. Well done, Team Nameless. Flavius and Itchy there, making it a 1-1 in this best of 3. So next one winner gets first place. Welcome to Game 3. Here we have a winner of this one, wins the entire tournament. It has come down to this. Nameless versus Fate. They met in pool play. Fate got the win there. Can Fate repeat history and get another victory on these guys? Or will Nameless take their revenge and win the event? Nameless here, we're spectating as them. They're red on the map, but blue on the balance of power. If it helps, you can also see the little circle above the units here, which is also blue, which can help a little bit from a distance sometimes, because a lot of these units again are going to look very similar, unfortunately. This is a big map looking at it, wow. Flavius, playing as Prussia here. Itchy Nuisance, playing as Portugal on this side. Their team name is Nameless. On the other side, we've got Prussia and Prussia, Theodore and Crucible, Prussia and Prussia. Ah, we got another double. Every match they go the double. They hate me. That's right, they know what they're doing. Everything they do, these players, it's to spite me. I'm convinced of it at this point. Double Prussia versus Prussia and Portugal. To decide it all. Balance of power already seems a little bit in favour of Team Fate here. Team Fate is going to be blue on the map, red on the balance of power. It already likes them. I guess the game likes Prussia. Does it like them? I think the 50-50 line is like top of the Eagle's bald spot. Maybe it is 50-50 already. Let me think, where's the centre of the Eagle? It's probably more here. Alright, so it's probably like, you can tell it's slightly in favour of Team Fate, but only by a couple of percent. Yeah, I don't like this design here. It's difficult to see where the exact centre is. So it's always difficult to see who it favours, but it's near enough 50-50. Have they actually set the battle timer? Yep. 1 hour. Hopefully they don't use the full hour like they did last time. That was annoying. And here we go. They're all charging forwards now. They're going to try to take this bit of high ground too. Where's the first gunshot going to be? I bet the Portuguese fire first. Yeah. Straight into the ground. Perfect. And they get 0 kills. And the Prussians also fire straight into the ground as well. Yeah, what's their angle like there? Straight into the ground. Oh, this hill's taking a beating. And no one gets any kills. Right, there we go. First man fallen for Prussia under Team Fate. Can't see where his body is though. He must have died somewhere. I've got no idea. Maybe he's sunk into the ground or something. You know, it is made by the Creative Assembly after all. You've got to factor in all possible bugs. Okay, so Fate is blue. Fate charges in with the Cavalry. Nameless here though, they do get a good square formation, so they're going to take a load of them out. But they do pull most of their cavalry out in time. They sent 2 cavalry units into that. Nameless tries to counter it with some of their Portuguese cavalry, but they're pretty much battered and wiped out as it is. They recharge over here onto this side instead. Meanwhile, Nameless hold this side of the hill. They've got the bottom part of this held. Square formation here. Team Fate not bothering with this one yet. I think they want to secure this side of the map first. And yeah, that's definitely in favour of Team Fate. That balance of power. They've got a good hold here. But anything can happen in this. Anything at all. They did form square. There's just so much blood already. They really went right into this, which is much better than the last time these two players played this map, if you remember that video. That was a fun one. This unit here getting completely battered. The Prussian musketeers having to retreat because they're just being shot at from so many fronts, and the Prussians here have double tier units, double firing on the high ground, so they're doing so much damage to them. The lights here as well, gonna get some good kills in, and because they're putting more infantry this way, putting more force here, it makes it easier for them to take the high ground. And they've just been able to abandon this instead to Nameless, who hold it for now. But so what if you hold it for now? This hill only comes into play like in 50 minutes. You don't have to really think about this now, and they're pulling some musketeers back. They've got their cavalry here, their lancers, who can charge in at any moment. Loads of gunfire over here. And then here we go, we've got a cavalry charge coming through. Big cav charge from Team Fate with their lancers. They did form square though, I think. Yeah, they're forming into square, so that was good timing by them. They pull their cavalry out and they charge into this next unit instead. Getting a good charge in onto them. They don't form square in time. These guys, are they getting into square? Yes, so they're gonna shoot at the cavalry. Oh, but now they're getting out of square. I think, you know what, that's okay. The cavalry had gone mostly out of range anyway, so they were fine to do that. But Fate's Cav's still alive in here, trying to cut their way through. Final 6, and they're still holding with decent morale, all things considered. Final 4, final 2, and now they've broken. Yeah, now they're shattered. Just so much fighting here, and Fate just holds this bit of high ground here, and there's nothing Nameless can do, and you can see the sheer amount of damage that Fate is able to do up here with just a few units on the high ground. You don't see the same level of dead bodies. It's like, yeah, of course there's pockets of dead bodies, but it's not on the level that we see here, and places like here. This is just so much more. This looks like the players just selected the unit and clicked delete, and they've all died in position. Meanwhile, Fate coming round with the unit here, the foot guards. I don't know if they're going to do anything though. They are outnumbered. They've got musketeers to fight and lancers. So they're probably dead fighting on their own, but at least it keeps Nameless distracted a little bit. Does Nameless have the high ground anywhere? Sort of here, okay. So that's sort of working for them. They've got the high ground here. They've got a good infantry position set up here. But Fate on this hill. Extremely powerful. Shame we're not going to see the stats of Team Fate and this one unit, or these 2 units, sorry. Maybe 3. Yeah, I would love to see the stats of these, see how many kills they actually got. If you're watching this and these are your units, comment down below how many kills these guys got. Is it anything impressive? Because it looks like they've taken out half the army. Balance of power looking really good now for Team Fate in blue. Red on the balance of power there. And hold this high ground as well, which Nameless is going to be unable to push. Surprised these guys aren't shooting down into this one. I guess they're focused more on holding it, making sure Nameless doesn't take it, because if Nameless takes this hill, then they can put pressure on this one. It seems the Portuguese pushed forwards there, so they had to push forwards too, and they had a charge in at them. They do have the slope advantage with this charge, so that should carry some momentum. And then they just charge straight onto the next one. That unit there, 100 men, having to pull out. I thought they were shattered for a second, but no, they're still in it. That's a unit they've broken. Then they just charge through onto the next one. Yeah, there's no point retreating, just charge them forwards, and reinforcements come up to reset their position up here on the high ground. Meanwhile, ooh, good, they brought some cavalry round this way to help out. So now these two are just going to shoot at each other. But they've both got the cavalry, so no one side is probably going to just annihilate the other with an easy win. Are these infantry units still charging round? Yeah, still charging round fighting this in melee. Oh, I really wish I knew how many kills these got. They seem invincible. Balance of power is looking good for Fate. It's not over yet, it's still early. Nameless can pull this back, I think. Oh, that unit survived, and it's still holding in morale. They're pulling them back. Don't pull them back, just keep on charging in, I think. Too late now. I think trying to pull back here to get a few more shots out of them or whatever, I think was a mistake. They should have just kept on charging. Charged straight for these or something and messed up the formation. Even if it's only for a second, they were out of the field anyway. That's what I would have done. I like their formation here. Nameless is not going to break through this anytime soon. The cavalry's charging through this way. Does Nameless notice? Yep. Ooh, this could get deadly. I'd probably pull back. I would chicken out of this, to be honest. Oh no. I lost a lot of cavalry there. Well, not a lot, but yeah, now it's becoming a lot. That unit's going to get completely destroyed. These can now charge through, but they got square in time. Whoa, they went flying. I swear someone went flying all the way over there. And then they can send in the cavalry, so that should have been good for Nameless. But they sent in their own cavalry into that, and they lost their own cav doing it. So that sort of evened it out a little bit. I think they should have just accepted the extra advantage on this side for what it was, and they should have just killed this cav unit. Which they did do, but they should have just left it at that. Now it's two squares shooting at each other. Meanwhile, over here, ooh, Nameless really pushing forwards. Yeah, they made a big push here, pushing Fate down the slope, but now they've run out of manpower. They lost a lot of units on that push, so now they're having to push back, and they don't have the infantry. I think that was desperation at that point. Just charge the soldiers forwards, try and make a push, try and make a breach, see what you can do. It's like, look at this. Let's see the reserves. Nameless's reserves. They're not reserves. They're not reserves. They're pretty much wiped out. And then let's see Team Fate's reserves. Just basically all of these guys, pretty much. And that's what's tipping the balance of power by so much. Let's check it on this side. So, Nameless here, they've got their infantry. They've been charged by the cavalry again, but this time they didn't form square. They've got their own cavalry charging into this instead, but they've got to deal with a square. They're being shot at from back there. Oh, you can just see it on the map as well. And they're charging in with even more cavalry, just battering their way through this. They do break, but they got a lot of kills, and they must have really messed up their formation. Team Fate here really pushing forwards now, again on the slope, on the high ground, just picking them off with full squad units. Maybe they've overextended a little bit. They're being shot at from multiple angles now, even though they do have the high ground advantage. Alright, now their reinforcements are coming in. Now it's good. Careful with your general. Some stray bullets almost took him out. Nameless has somewhat reformed over here, so Fate having to pull back. Yeah, they know they've lost this hill. Nameless has won it on this side, it seems. They've sort of regrouped. Yeah, they've regrouped back here, but they're on the low ground now. And it's not looking good for them. To be honest, I think it's pretty much over. I think Fate is going to be the tournament champion here. Theodore and Crucible, but still well done to Team Nameless for making it this far. Second place in this tournament is still good, and it still comes with some decent money. All sponsored by OPG. Check out the Discord, linked down below. Yeah, Nameless, you've won this hill, don't overextend, pull back a bit, get ready to form square, because the cavalry is coming through. Right, they're pulling back. And now, yeah, I think Fate is in a position where they can look at the balance of power and be comfortable sitting on the hills for a little bit. I don't think they need to push right now. They can just have a bit of a rest. They've got, how long is it? Over 45 minutes left. Yeah, and at any moment they can just regroup, push forwards and wipe out the remnants of Team Nameless here. I think we can triple speed it. I think they're both just having a bit of a break, letting their soldiers recover, planning what to do next. Look at the bodies, so many bodies. Oh, Team Nameless, the one who's pushing forwards now with their lights, forcing Team Fate back. Fate has to be careful. They're in a strong point now, but they could still lose it. Now that would be an interesting twist, an interesting turn of events. They've brought a lot more troops onto this side now. They do really want to take this hill. It is one of the victory hills. It's basically this hill here and this hill here, up to about this point. What's Fate doing here? Bringing troops on the long flank. Probably planning on surrounding these guys here. Yeah, they're definitely strong enough to make a push here. So they've brought more troops over here. They've got some reinforcements as well going into the trees. And we're going to try and take this hill next, I think. Nameless pulling back. They got some shots in with their lights. Fate, I think, still has the advantage. Nameless is pushing in the centre. They know they need to move at some point. So they're making the push now. And it seems Nameless tried a cavalry charge. I think they got kills. Or knocked a load of people over at least, but that cav unit got destroyed. So they've reformed the line, continue firing. The general's nearby. They've got a couple of units there trying to hold back this one. I don't know if it'll work. I think they can hold back this one, but still they need these 2 units over here on the front. They've got their general close to the front trying to rally the troops, but these Portuguese units are finally done a break. They're charging melee on this side, but they're outnumbered like 10 to 1. So these Portuguese are about to get slaughtered. They might wipe out this Prussian Fusilier unit. Yeah, they did. Right. That was worth it then for that already weak unit. But they do lose the unit. They've lost another unit here. They're trying to stand here, but they're just outnumbered. They're being shot from so many angles. Mostly from troops on the high ground as well. These guys, they're just not going to hold. I'll try to keep an eye on them. Just want to check out over here. Yeah, fairly even, is it, on this side? Yeah, not really. Nameless having to push forwards, charge in melee and hope for the best. But they all get absolutely annihilated by the gunfire. Have they done try go for a shot on the general? That would be good if they killed the general here. I don't know if they're in range for it. I think they did kill one of the bodyguards. They might actually be aiming at the general here. And the general does pull back. Yeah, I think they were just aiming at the general. I like that. I like that from Team Nameless. Meanwhile, these guys, yeah, they got destroyed, unfortunately. And, oh yeah, look at Fate here. Completely coming round. I didn't see this big flank. That's going to completely surround them, and that's going to end it. Thank you to all the players for playing in this tournament. It was a good one. I did enjoy it, despite, you know, all the issues. Flavius's general has died. But I have enjoyed it. It's been fun coming back to Napoleon, and I do hope to come back again someday with a bigger tournament and with a bigger prize pool. But, of course, I do need a bit of a break from Napoleon. And I think OBG will as well. I don't know what the next tournament will be, but there probably will certainly be one. So check out the Discord, linked down below, and you might be able to take part. We also have prizes for like participation, money prizes as well, so even if you're not that good, you can still win something, as one of the teams did. Well done, Team Fate, Theodore and Crucible, for getting the win. Well played, and we can see this one here was just domination. 1,700 kills, 1,049 kills versus 874 and 846. They did really well in that one. Here's the kills on the Portuguese unit, the Portuguese faction led by Itchy Nuisance. And yeah, not a single unit here getting... Some got 100 kills. Had to be the ones at the bottom. There's not a single... Oh, never mind. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of units here in the 20s. A lot of infantry here. 54 losses, 18 kills. Well. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you again to OBG. Do check out that Discord link down below to take part. And just to get notified of other stuff. I think there's a guy doing a chess tournament as well. So there's other stuff in there other than Total War. if anyone is interested. But anyway, I think that's it from me. Thank you for watching this tournament. I hope you, all the spectators and all the players, enjoyed it. But for now, goodbye.